Hi, guys. Welcome to the
Hello.
Gig Economy Podcast, the B-side.
Hello. There we go.
You
Maybe
good
people
there?
can hear me now. Maybe, yeah, I know. Maybe people can hear me now.
Did you break the mic?
Something.
You and your mic problems. We need to keep you in studio full time. Anyways, guys, you guys know this is the B-side. This week we're interviewing Jason with Drivetowin13, which we'll definitely talk about that name as I read it wrong like an asshole. He's got a good name, which is because it's my name, so I love that. So yeah, if you guys are new to the show, this is the B-side. Every other Wednesday when we don't do gig economy in the news, we talk to a creator or a gig worker, and Jason is a creator and a gig worker. Posts a lot of his stuff on YouTube. So I don't know a lot about Jason. The only information I know is he's friends with Steve, who's friends with everybody. So that's kind of how we got connected. So yeah, I'm excited to have Jason on the show tonight. Jason, why don't you tell us who you are, what you do for gig work, what makes you run, all that good stuff.
Yep. Okay. Well, my name is Jason with Drivetowin13. Everybody does get that wrong, so don't even worry about it. So in terms of gig work, I do everything. Just about anything gig-wise, I do it. I've been doing it since 2017, so I've got a few years under my belt. And I have done it from Seattle, Washington, all the way to Miami, Florida, and even in Hawaii. So I've been all over the place doing all the different platforms and doing my YouTube channel as well. So I'm pretty well versed in all of the different platforms, whether it's Uber, Lyft, Instacart, DoorDash, any of them. Literally all of them.
Yeah. So you're like me when I go to my tax accountant and I have to give him like 17 1099s.
So,
yes, exactly. And I went ahead and extended my tax date this year because I'm not.
Did you?
I did.
So one thing too. Go ahead, Jason. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I also do Turo and Airbnb as well.
I was gonna say. So I saw a couple of your videos. I mean, I must have just a little bit of them, and I noticed that you had Turo, and so those are a few of the little bit more advanced gig, if you will. Right,
Yeah.
takes a little bit of an investment, both Turo and Airbnb. That kind of, I think, makes it for a little bit of an interesting angle as well, because there's a little bit of what's it called, the aspect where you make money without you actually having to do anything about it, right?
A little more passive, yeah. However, it's not as passive as some people might think, but it definitely is. That is the whole point, because to do gig work nowadays in the traditional gig economy, you almost have to do multi-apping. And so I also do other things that can be somewhat passive and making me money while I'm doing other things at the exact same time. And then I have something very unique in that I intertwine them all together, which we can definitely get into as well.
So you've worked in a lot of places. Where's your current market? Where would you say that you do most of your work?
I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
Sarasota, Florida. Okay.
Yep.
And your main gig right now, I know you multi-app like me, but it varies for me what I do.
I would say right now my main gig is probably doing Instacart.
Okay.
That would be my main.
I am dabbling in that a little bit. It's been a challenge.
Steve doesn't like it either. So
no, I have a buddy here in Michigan, and he just kills it. He's over in Ann Arbor, which is probably one of the richest areas in the state.
Yeah.
And he just kills those Costco orders. But man, that shit stresses me out, man. If I get a double, I'm like, I can't do it. My heart races, and I'm just like, I cannot get this shit done. So he kills it. Yeah. He'll do 2-3 Instacarts and be done for the day.
Yeah. It's more of a strategic game, and there's days where you're going to turn it on and you're going to turn it back off because nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Or they're just sending you junk orders and whatnot. So, and that's the idea with multitask or multi-apping. I'll have Instacart running and DoorDash running at the exact same time. Take one or the other. Sometimes I've done up to 3 before. I've done a shipped order, an Instacart order and a DoorDash order accepted all at the exact same time.
Wow.
So, and now in that, it took me an hour to complete all that, but I made like $160.
Damn.
So it was pretty worth the hour of stress.
Yeah, I would never be able to do that. I definitely would be freaking out. And DoorDash for me lately has been super anal about, like, if I'm not heading to the direction after I accept it, like within like 5 minutes, they're like, "Hey, what's up? We're gonna kick you off this."
Yeah, DoorDash is getting very sticky with all their changes and their weirdness going on. They're doing some funky stuff for sure.
Yeah, and unless you get an Uber Eats, and then you could be 6 hours, and they're like, "Nah, we don't care as long as you get
don't worry about it." Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Well, that's cool. So you started in 2017. Was there a particular reason, or you just like everyone else wanted to make a little extra money?
So it was interesting. When I first started, I was actually a gas station store manager, and I constantly had my night shift guy, always calling out sick about 10 minutes before his shift. So that falls on the manager. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
And when I did those, I always had Uber drivers stopping in to get coffee or donuts or whatever. And I started talking to them, and I realized that 85% of them don't treat it like a business. And I started thinking about it, and I thought, you know what? There's another avenue to this that these people aren't even thinking about. And so I actually quit my $60,000 a year job, and I went full into this.
Wow.
And I started doing Uber. A month later, added Lyft, and then it started Uber Eats, and then it just progressed until I had them all added and was able to do them all. So. But
do you do rides at all now? Probably not, right?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. But only when I get a super crazy promotion to, get me to come back. I just had a Lyft, which surprised me actually. Lyft had a deal for me if I completed 75 rides over the course of a week. Okay, so that's not terrible, 10 per day, right? Maybe a little more.
Yeah.
I would get a certain guarantee. So I did the math. And I did as small rides as possible, right? And I did a lot of junk rides. Anyway, I made $1,700 that week on Lyft. So I will do it only if I have promotions. I am not going to go do those $3 rides.
So that's interesting. You talk about the guarantees, because we've always told people don't take the guarantees because it's usually not worth it.
You absolutely have to play the game. So the guarantee. The only way you win at a guarantee is if you are taking as small of rides and doing quantity rides. So I will do scheduled rides where it's the doctor visits where you make $2.50.
Yeah.
But I know that in the end, I'm going to get the guarantee amount. So I want as small a numbers on my side as possible. I don't want that $30 50-mile ride, which is a junk order too, but I don't want that. I want as small because I want quantity. I want to do it quick. Now, in that 75 rides, that only took me 20 hours. So in 20 hours time, I made $1,687, I think was the number.
Damn.
Now, so that promotion didn't care about your rating at all then?
It did not.
Because you end up having to cancel a ton of rides to do that.
Decline.
That's correct. Because I am literally taking all the orders that everybody else would decline.
Right.
Yep.
Did you happen to use? I figure if you're connected with Steve, and Gary's apps, did you happen to use that to do that?
No.
No, you just did it manually. I
just parked myself in an area that I knew was going to be all those rides. College campus, near. Doctors' offices, things like that. I did not go out to, the subdivision to get airport rides or anything like that. It's a game plan. You have to go into it. And once I got the allotted rides I needed, I turned it off and did some Instacart for a while. So I also made $500 on Instacart that week as well. So
damn.
Yeah, it was a decent week.
So how long do you think you have to let those sit before you get an offer like that from one of those apps?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's about every 3 months.
Oh, wow. That's a long time to sit.
You
Holy
do.
cow. Yeah.
And that's why I don't do it. I did it. I was in Fort Myers. So as you understand, Hurricane Ian took out Fort Myers. Well,
Yeah.
I was right in the middle of that when that happened. And I had this very similar promotion just prior to that. So that was in September, the end of September. And I just had that promotion in January. So
Oh, okay.
I'm getting due for another one pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah, we have been talking about we talked about it in the last show that Uber is changing their Quest because we do the Quest here. They're
Right.
changing
We
it
did that
to
too.
monetary. So like, and it's ridiculous. Like if you earn $400 on the app, they'll give you like a $10 bonus.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
stupid.
it is. And I am not doing any rideshare, first of all, because I am not interested in dealing with the people anymore.
Yeah, it's tough.
And the only way you can win at it is doing it late nights, and I'm not doing that for sure. So,
Yep.
I when I lived up in Idaho, I did a ton of scheduled preferred rides or people that I give rides to all the time, and they become private clients.
Yeah.
I did that all the time, but I'm not messing with any of that anymore.
Yeah, Jesper makes the most money. He drives the bar time from 9 p to 2 a, and I'm done with that too. I'll drive. The latest I'll drive is midnight.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm like, I'm good. Like
I've got a good YouTube video on my YouTube channel that I documented over the course of I don't know, a week or so of those rides, and it's pretty entertaining. So,
but see, I think it's fun. That's my favorite time to drive, and I mean, why not? When I make $45 an hour, why not do it?
Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jason. I'm like, I'm done with these drunks. I got like 8,000 rides between the two apps, and I was like, yeah.
Yep, that's exactly about where I'm at too. Yeah.
I'm good. So tell me about this Turo. I actually used Turo for the first time in January. I rented a Tesla because I was like, fuck, I was on like a podcast conference, and I was like with my wife, I'm like, it'd be fun. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it was a seamless experience. And I just want to know a little bit about it. It's definitely not, I wouldn't say it's gig work. I would just say you're a business owner because
it is a little different.
Invested quite a bit of money.
That's correct. So yeah, you have to think about all of this as a business, but Turo and Airbnb are more business-like because of the investments, right?
Sure.
And I started Turo with my personal car. I had a Chrysler 300S, and I thought, you know what? I don't want to make the payments. I'm going to have somebody else make the payments. Well, month number 1 of putting it on Turo, I tripled my payment.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, interesting. And then I noticed that a lot of Turo people who do Turo had a list, their description of their cars, and it was non-business like. It was all, you can't do this, you're going to get fined this, you're going to get billed this. And I thought, you know what, I can do this completely different. And so I got another car, and then I got another car, and now I have 4 cars. Ooh. And I'm doing pretty much the same, about double or tripling up each month.
Okay.
So the goal by the end of this year is to increase that to 7 cars by the busy season in Florida this next year. And it's quite interesting for sure.
Do you have any problems at all getting financing? When you tell people that tell the financing companies that is what it's for?
Yeah, I don't tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
I do not tell them.
Good point.
As a matter of fact, the last vehicle that I financed was a minivan, and the bank called me because I have an over 800 credit score, which probably helps with any of this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But they called me and they said, "Hey, I noticed you got a couple other cars financed, and what is the purpose of this car?" And I said, "Well, I do in some real estate." And I said, "I just need a minivan to drive clients around."
Yeah.
So I needed something like that, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and then they put it down. I don't tell them. Then I did. I was able to pay cash. I bought a Lexus here a couple months ago, and I just paid cash for it. And so the goal is to get into, the ability to do that, take the money and get cash cars. But starting out, I financed 3 cars, and it did help. I did have good credit to help me with that.
Oh yeah, you if you're in the 600s, don't even think about it. Like you're gonna have to have great credit. Guys, that must be stressful to manage all that, or is it not too bad?
It really isn't. The biggest thing that I always tell anybody getting into it is, first of all, don't put your favorite car on Turo. It's a business. Don't, dad handed you down, his car. Don't put that on Turo, because you're going to be stressing about it the whole time it's out. It's a business. If my cars get totaled, it's insured. I get a different one.
Yeah.
I don't sweat little scratches, and I don't sweat little, people come back and there's soda spilled or something. I just don't sweat it. I just clean it and move on.
Interesting.
Do you get to charge them a cleaning fee then?
You do for some things. Similar, although it's kind of gone the way that Uber and Lyft went, where it used to be really good if somebody threw up in your car. Now it's like, yeah, we get $20 or whatever. But
right,
because people abused it. So in terms of Turo, it's harder and harder to get cleaning fees, because people are like, oh man, I had to vacuum the car when it came back. I want $150.
Yeah,
that's not how that works.
That's so frustrating.
Yeah, so I actually will tell a lot of my Turo people, hey, don't worry about cleaning the car, just bring it back.
Right.
For one, I don't want them to try to disguise something and I find it, just cigarettes or something. But also, I would prefer that I wash my cars and get them cleaned up, because I know how they're, how it's done. That's only on 4 cars. Once you get up to 10 cars or 15 cars, it's a little bit more difficult. But
then you just hire a local little guy who'll go out and clean them for you. And
I actually have a couple other Turo hosts that will kind of switch off and on. I'll go grab their cars from the airport and I'll run them down and clean them and take them back if they have a quick turnaround, because sometimes it's literally 2-hour turnarounds.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes people, got it delivered to Sarasota and they're in Tampa, and I got to, help them out.
What is your most nicest car compared to like just a run of the mill car?
So I have the three cars that I have that I've had primarily on there is a Prius.
Oh yeah.
I have a Chrysler Pacifica minivan.
Oh, those are nice.
I have a Lexus convertible IS250 and a Chrysler 300S.
Okay.
And the reason that I got those cars is because they all meet a different client.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get the same one, and I wanted to have it as wide range as possible. Now, I will tell you, the clients that I get for my 300S, I don't particularly like. I have trackers on all my cars. I see everything they're doing, and absolutely, they're constantly going 120 miles an hour and fast acceleration and all that. And that's another thing where you just got to let it go and just be like, whatever. It's a business. Let it go. So, but I'm not going to get into like exotic cars.
No,
I'm not going to do them. That's just too much risk, at least for now.
Right.
And I'm the next vehicles that I'm going to get are probably actually like some Hyundais, something that'll get even a different crowd. So,
do you feel like you're able to do the lower end cars like a Hyundai in where you're at in Florida, just because it's probably people just want something to get around and it's easier to deal with Turo than deal with like, Enterprise?
Yeah. So the people that are going to get the Hyundai are usually locals, people who just need a car to run around for a week. Their car's in the shop, whatever. The people coming into town are going to get the other ones. They want the convertible, because you're in Florida, you have to have a convertible. Right. Or they want the nice looking blacked out, 300S, or they have a family coming in. So I don't really like renting to locals so much, but that's another part of the business that I'm going to get into. So.
Okay. See, Jesper, we need to do this.
Yep.
He keeps saying I need to do this. I'm not gonna rent out my Kia. I'm just not.
I know, but I don't think it. I looked at Grand Rapids Turo, like I just got on the app. It's not great around here. I mean, it's not very touristy. I mean, maybe in the summer on the lake, but I can't see how it would be profitable for us.
Yeah, I've got a buddy up in Grand Rapids as well, and I've had him kind of keeping an eye on things because he was thinking about getting into it, and what I told him to do was, first of all, rent a couple local Turo cars and see the experience with it, see, if it's any good, there, and try it out.
Yeah.
He didn't have great luck with it up there, or at least what he could see.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see it would be worth us doing that, but Jesper and I are always looking at passive income, aren't we, Jesper?
Unless you're able to pick up a quote unquote beater for a good price that looks nice.
Yeah. I mean,
so there is something too that I will tell you is you could get into the game by doing a co-host. And somebody that's already got a cars and they're already doing it, and you could say, hey, I'd like to get into the game and maybe you help me out. I'll buy a car, we'll put it on your account, and I'll take 50% of the profits or whatever. It's free to them, they're just added into their stuff. But just to see if it's working out or whatever. I will tell you, of all my cars, I have yet to actually take any of my own money to make any payments or any maintenance or insurance or anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good. One more thing before we jumped in the creator end of it, the insurance, they have to know that you're renting it out, right? Or
yeah, so here's okay.
Let's go offline real quick. We'll talk about
this
offline.
Let me tell you about it. So you have a couple different ways of doing it. First of all, if you have your normal policy, more than likely, you get into an accident or your client gets into an accident, it is covered under Turo's policy while it's on rent, right?
Yep.
However, what can happen is because your personal policy is also on it, it can get reported to your insurance.
Right.
And your insurance can say, hey, wait a second, you're doing this for Turo, we're not covering your car anymore. Okay. The car is covered under Turo. You can also get an insurance that is friendly to Turo. Okay. Most of them are not.
Right.
Mutual.
Liberty
Mutual is friendly to them.
Okay.
They're also pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Or you can get an insurance that is dedicated to Turo, which is Lula. And Lula basically has a program that's called their off-rent policy or off-rent program. And it only covers your car when it's not being rented on Turo. So during your deliveries, during your maintenance, during your car washes, they are covering you personally for 300 miles per month. Other than that, your car is only covered under Turo.
So you're not supposed to do any personal driving in it.
Correct. That's if you're dedicating that car, and which is what mine are. They sit in my driveway, and that's all.
Huh. Do you remember Buckle? I think they went under, or they were redoing something. That was kind of for we interviewed them. I was kind of excited about that. I don't know what happened to that, but
I don't know either.
It was a gig related insurance, like it was
all. And I think Turo, or I'm sorry, I think Lula is going to be doing the same type of thing eventually. And then there's also ABI, American Business Insurance, that also does the same similar thing as Lula does.
Okay.
Well, as you know, a lot of these people don't know either, is that, I have the rider on my insurance, but that's just for Uber and Lyft. That doesn't cover your DoorDash, Amazon, Instacart, none of that. So you are rolling the dice a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. If I were to get into an accident on a delivery, I ain't telling nobody I was delivering nothing.
No.
I was just like, I had some groceries in the car, but whatever. And I'm just canceling that order.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I tell people that too. I mean, you do what you want to do, but this is what I'm going to do. So let's talk about YouTube. I see you got a really healthy YouTube channel there, and which is awesome. That's a lot of hard work. I know
it is.
We didn't do hard work. We got our subscribers when we were posting bullshit videos of people being fuckheads in the car. So
there you go. Yeah.
And then we stopped doing that, and now we don't make any money.
We got this fun letter that was called a cease and desist, and then I got scared.
We actually had was it RuPaul's group? We had a video of couple of their gals, and it was Jesper's car, and they were like, "We're gonna sue you," blah blah blah. And it was like, "Okay, we're not doing these videos anymore.
We're good." Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. When I first started looking at YouTube, I went on there to get real information from real drivers, right? And I saw a lot of people who were not real drivers trying to do the whole, hey, sign up under my name and click my link and all these things, right? And I get it. I understand what they're doing, but they're giving you information as if they really do this, and they really don't.
Yeah.
And I wanted something real, and I wanted people to be able to come to my channel and learn from somebody who's actually doing it, really treating it like a business. I think way outside the box on a lot of things. Like I said, I intertwine all these together. And so I think outside the box, and I just wanted people to have the ability to make a business out of it.
Yeah.
So that's why I started my YouTube channel. And it's I decided I wasn't going to go after huge numbers. Wasn't going to create huge amounts of content just to create content. My channel is monetized, and I do make some money on it, but it's primarily just to allow people to learn and learn right from somebody who really actually does it. As a matter of fact, I will not do any video on any of the platforms until I've done 1,000 of the deliveries or 1,000 of anything. That is my number. So if I do a video on DoorDash, I've done at least 1,000. If I've done a video on Uber Eats, I've done at least 1,000. And I figure, you know what, that gives me a lot of, stature to my name or whatever.
Yeah. Street cred.
Street cred, yeah.
Expertise is what it's called.
Exactly.
So you've rented out Turo more than 1,000 times.
No, Turo is the one that is a little different. And Airbnb, I decided to kind of track from start. You know, this is how I got into it. That was my first video. This is how I started. This is what I'm doing.
Okay.
And then I just kind of moved up from there. That's a little bit more difficult because it'll take you, with just one car, it'll take you a year to probably get, 30 or 40. So it takes some time to build for sure.
I think if you don't present yourself as an authority on it, that's the fair, like, not just you, but anybody. We're like, I'm the authority on this. Well, how many have you done? Well, I went out and tried 5, and you're like, no, don't.
Right.
You can talk about it, your experience on it, but don't say, this is what you should do. This is what I do. Here's my link, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't like
my favorite is when people get called out on, they say, well, just show us your screen, show us how many you've done, and they will not do that.
Well, yeah, that's a red flag right there. Ridiculous. Delivery Cat says, ask them to sign a release, and that's how you can put him on tape or on YouTube.
So that's going into the whole single and double consent and all that stuff.
Well,
and it's
And honestly, we really pulled them off and stopped doing it because Uber was threatening. We didn't get anything personally, but we knew people on YouTube were getting deactivated. Yeah,
and for me, like on my car, I have on the stickers. They're getting faded now, but on the side of my car, I do have the sticker. This car is both audio and video recorded. By entering, you consent, right? And I've been called out a couple times. And in my video that I have on there, I have some of the people in my car. It's just one video that I did. It's about 15 minutes long. And it was more of just a kind of a fun video that I put together. It's quite entertaining. But yeah, I don't know. I decided not to do that route. I have a lot of content because I saved some of those crazy videos that I figured I might just get in trouble here, or somebody might say something.
Yeah.
I still have them. I saved them for sure.
Yeah, because if you get deactivated on a platform, you're like, fuck it, might as well put it up there now.
Yeah, I had a girl that I had to kick out of my car, and she said, well, I'm just going to tell them that you did something, and I have that on video, and I am never I'm never going to not have that video saved.
Right. So all the reason to not do rideshare, right?
Yep. Especially late nights.
I would guess we've kind of gone over what separates you apart from other creators is just being more informative.
Right.
And that's why I say good job on the subs, because people don't want that. They want the crazy shit. They want they don't want the information stuff. those are loyal numbers when you see that, because people have spent the time to learn how to do that. Most people are like 20 seconds, show me something crazy, and then I'm moving on. So that's good.
Right. And on top of that, I'm also, any people that comment on my videos, I am very interactive with them.
That's huge.
And I believe it or not, you guys, this will blow your mind. I had somebody contact me through my YouTube channel, and I ended up going to Arizona for 6 months and converting her house into an Airbnb for her.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I have a whole video I made on that too. It's not on YouTube, but I have a whole thing I did on that.
Oh, that's incredible.
You converted her house into an Airbnb for her.
That's correct. Yeah. It was pretty, and she still does it. And as a matter of fact, part of the reason why I did this was because she also wanted to invest in some stuff, namely some Turo cars. So I thought, you know what, future thinking, I got a, investor in my back pocket. Let's make it happen. And I put a lot of work into it, but
yeah, I bet you did.
Yep, absolutely.
That's super cool.
But that's how you grow into a business.
Yeah, we're kind of like that just for our stuff. Jesper and I have a podcasting business too, besides the show, and just being like kind to other people, and like there's so much work for everybody. No one's got to be a dick. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Yep.
I mean, there's no reason to do that.
I call it playing well in the sandbox.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well in the sandbox. Well, I appreciate this conversation. I want to talk so much about Turo because it gets my juices flowing. Like I feel like
fun one.
It is. I'll have to talk to you about that co-hosting thing, because that would be that would be interesting to do. So what's on the horizon for you? What do you got cooking for your channel? Do you got any videos coming up, or any projects like, traveling to Hawaii and building a house for somebody?
So I actually have a video that I have been working on for quite a while, in that I actually went to Hawaii for a month. Okay, a month.
I did not know this, y'all.
Yeah, he really didn't. I went to Maui for a month, and I actually did Instacart orders in the morning and played at the beach at night. Okay. And I was able to do that and make enough money to pay for my whole month of being there.
Jeez.
And creating all this content. And so, I actually have kind of a travel video that I've worked on for a little while, where I actually traveled all over I started in Idaho, and I went all the way around into Montana and Washington and California, Oregon. And I went all the way down Phoenix, all the way to the tip of Miami, Florida, and all the way back. And I did this all over the course of about 3 months.
Okay.
I actually bought a motorhome to do it. I put my Prius on a trailer, and I went everywhere. So I haven't got it released yet. I'm not 100% sure how I want to release it, on there, but I've been focusing so much on Turo and building that business and getting into Airbnb stuff in Florida, that I put a lot more focus into those. So
right.
Yeah, I would say the majority of my content coming up will probably be Turo right now.
Okay. Yeah, those videos, I just don't have the patience to do all the editing and stuff like that.
It's exactly. And people don't understand that.
Oh, it's so hard. Like even I can do audio editing all day. Like it's nothing compared to video editing. I can do a video, but it's gonna be shit. So
yeah, it's the hardest thing, is people nitpick it too. So they'll be like, hey, there was a shadow, or there's this and that. And I'm like, hey, you don't understand what it took to make this happen.
God, people are dicks. Like
it can be crazy for sure.
Oh, the internet is crazy. So where can people find you? As far as, obviously that's your YouTube channel. Oh, what's the name? Tell me the reason for the name. We didn't talk about that.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. You'll notice my hat right here, right?
Yeah.
This is the Miami Dolphins. My favorite player was Dan Marino, which was number 13. So that's where the 13 comes from. Okay. But also, I had an inner drive to win at life.
Okay.
And when I started my channel, I broke away from everything and everybody to do my own thing. And I just had this super drive to win. And I started with driving a car with Uber and Lyft. And it just kind of escalated there. And I thought, you know what? I got this drive to win, and I want to help other people win as well. So that's where it all started. Yeah.
Very cool.
Very nice. Cool. Yeah.
I love that. So, so anyways, we can find you on YouTube there. Are you on social? I think you're on Twitter quite a bit, right?
I am on Twitter. I'm on all of them under the same name. So it's all Drivetowin13. On Twitter, I think I have to have an underscore in there. I don't even remember. But but you can find me on there. But and then on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Yeah, we're on all the platforms too, but I primarily hang out in Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah,
so that's where I'm at. So
yeah, I've liked YouTube because of the ability for. That's how I learned how to do a lot of things and learned to do a lot of this stuff. And I thought, you know what, this is a great way to be able for me to go live with people and
right.
Really show them things, and I can put my stats and my things on the screen to back things up and whatever. So like you said, though, the editing is difficult, and that takes a lot of time, but my future videos, I'm going to cut back on the editing a little bit and do some more informative sit down talk stuff that I can put more content. Maybe I'll have a whiteboard and talk insurance, because that's a big thing. And a lot of things that people have questions about doing a successful Turo business. So that's primarily where I'm going to go.
Cool. Well, Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys, all his links will be in the description of the YouTube channel. And then of course the audio podcast that comes out on Monday. So cool, man. Have a good night, everybody. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Jason.